Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror film, INSANITARIUM. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Jack writes a letter letting anyone know that he will try to admit himself in an asylum to see his sister, Lily. Lily has been mentally ill and suicidal since their mother died. The hospital doesn't allow visitors, so Jack pretends to be insane so he can see her sister. Jack goes out in public, shirtless and acting crazy. He bumps into a person to start commotion. Later, police officers pin him to the ground until paramedics come. The paramedics tranquilize Jack's foot. The police officer tells the paramedics to bring Jack to the psychiatric ward. A guard takes Jack inside the mental hospital, led by a crazy doctor. Doctor asks Jack what his name is, and tells the guard to take Jack to his room. The guard brings Jack into the maximum facility and straps him to a bed. The guard then exits Jack's room, but sees a patient vomiting blood. He opens his room to help him up, but the moment the guard opens the door, the patient takes a sharp blade from his sleeve. Jack shouts at the guard to inform him about the escaping patient. The guard defends himself and then closes the door. As the guard leaves, the patient gets mad at Jack because he missed his chance to escape. Later, Doctor wakes Jack and his assistant up. Assistant checks up on Jack's wounds. They ask Jack about the wounds, but he pretends not to know. So he instructs the guard to put Jack in the psychiatric ward. Jack gets taken to the psychiatric ward. A nurse named Nancy tells him to wait for her before leaving. Jack looks at the other patients and sees a woman patient. He approaches her, but soon after apologizes as he thought that it is his sister. The patient introduces herself as Heather. Heather gives a piece of paper to Jack. He takes it when suddenly Heather screams, saying that Jack touched her private but smelly part and that he raped her. Nancy controls the situation by threatening Heather about bringing her back to Doctor. While Nancy shows Jack around, another patient named Creep, who has creepy white eyes, tackles Nancy in the wall. Jack shouts for help, then the other patients come out of their rooms. Another patient named Dave picks up Nancy's panic button and gives it to Jack. Jack clicks the panic button for help. Doctor comes and talks to Creep, making him let go of Nancy. After this, the guard tases him, and Doctor orders him to put Creep upstairs. Nancy shows Jack where his room is. Jack lies down and says that he's tired. Nancy tells him that she will check up on him later. The moment the door closes, Jack gets up and looks to see if there's a way to open the window. He hears a sound coming from the cabinet. He opens it and sees Dave. He confronts Dave, but Dave says that he just wants to take a closer look to see if Jack is one of the patients that Doctor gives Orpheum to make their eyes white. He further mentions that those who get treated in the lab come down as different person. On the other hand, Doctor electrocutes Creep in the head as his mouth foams, so Assistant turns off the machine. She tells Doctor that Creep is already burning, but he answers that he has a lot of experience in that kind of treatment, telling her to prepare Creep for an additional dose of Orpheum. They argue because she refuses to give Creep another dose. Doctor tells her that it's how Orpheum is designed to treat the patient's brains, and Doctor continues to inject Orpheum into Creep while his eyes start turning white. Meanwhile, Jack spots his sister from the window. He exits his room and heads down to wait for her. Moments later, Lily arrives with the head nurse. After the nurse leaves, he sits beside Lily and talks to her. Lily says she wants to stay in the asylum. Jack wants to get her out of the asylum, as he knows about the experiment that Doctor has been doing. They continue to argue, making Lily shout. Head nurse comes and tells Lily to go back to her room. Later, while Jack is in the cafeteria, he takes a knife and puts it in his pocket when no one's looking. Heather approaches and confronts him about his relationship with Lily. She tells Jack to come to her room at night, but he declines. She continues to ask who Lily is, but Jack ignores her and sits with Dave. After a while, the guard sits with them. Dave apologizes to him because he wasn't able to take the pills that the guard asked him to, as head nurse was working late. The guard tells him that he should get the pills, otherwise he will report Dave to Doctor. The guard leaves and takes Dave's food. That night, the guard walks down the hall with a flashlight. He sneaks inside Heather's room. Heather threatens to tell the medical staff about the guard harassing her, but the guard tells her that nobody would believe her. He then forces himself onto Heather, harassing her again. When Jack doesn't hear the guard's footsteps anymore, he gets up from his bed and looks for ways to escape until the morning. While trying to open the window, Jack's hand slips and cuts his finger. He exits his room and tells head nurse why he's late for the group therapy. Creep looks at his wound and starts acting weird. Head nurse tells Jack to share since he arrived late. Jack starts talking about his mother, while the blood from his finger drips. Creep tries moving closer to Jack's blood, but head nurse tells him to get back in his seat. Creep is unable to control himself, attacking Jack. Another patient, who also has white eyes, starts licking Jack's blood on the floor. Head nurse can't control them anymore, so she clicks her panic button, but Creep bites her hand. The guard arrives and calls other personnel to control the situation. The guard tases Creep and takes him upstairs. Because of the incident, the rest of the patients are on lockdown. Dave helps Jack up and he tells Dave to meet him in his room later. Later that day, Jack tells Dave that he admitted himself so that he can see Lily, his sister. He also tells Dave that he will tell Doctor about the letter that he wrote in the first scene so that they would let him out. Jack heads downstairs and tells Nancy that he needs to talk to Doctor. Nancy refuses as Doctor is furious because of the group therapy incident, but Jack tells her that he saved Nancy once, implying that she owes him, making her accept Jack's request. Jack is in Doctor's office. He sees Doctor holding his written letter. Head nurse shows it to Jack, revealing that the letter is actually empty. Jack gets furious and continues to tell them that he's not crazy and he knows what he wrote. He starts shouting, so Doctor tells the guard to put him in the maximum facility. Still stuck there, the same patient shown earlier talks again, saying that Jack ruined his plan to escape, telling him that he will make Jack pay for what he did before. Later, Doctor goes to Jack's room. Jack apologizes, saying that he does have mental problems, but it's not enough reason to put him in the maximum facility. So Doctor decides to put him back in the psychiatric ward. Back at the psychiatric ward, Jack sits next to Dave, saying that Doctor is a liar because of the letter scene. He then asks Dave how he moves around at night and how the security system works, because soon enough they will get experimented on too. Their talk gets interrupted as the guard tells everyone to get back to their own rooms. At night, Jack gets out of his room. Dave playfully surprises him from behind. Dave tells him that he will show Jack how to move around, but he will not go with him upstairs. They sneak around the security room. Dave tells Jack to get the security card, while Dave takes the pills for the guard. Meanwhile, Jack spots the guard walking toward the security room. Before they can get caught, they are able to hide. After the guard leaves, Jack uses the security card to open the door leading upstairs. He enters and heads upstairs. He is now in the solitary ward, looking for Lily. He sees his sister. Lily tells him that he's right about the asylum doing experiments on their patients. Jack hears someone coming, so he tells Lily that he will come back for her. Jack runs out of the solitary ward. As he's on his way downstairs, he sees the guard walking up, making him run to the 4th floor. Jack goes around and discovers Doctor's lab. Creep is inside a cage. He sees Jack and grabs his arm, but Jack is able to break free. Jack continues to look around and sees the Orpheum. He takes it and hides as he hears assistant coming. Doctor and his assistant are arguing because the drug is multiplying in the patient's body. He explains what the Orpheum is, while forcefully tying assistant up. She tells him that it can be a transmittable disease if the Orpheum mutates in the human body. He then slices her thigh using a scalpel. After that, he tells her that if the Orpheum is mutating, it means that it's evolving, implying that he has always wanted things to go this way. He rips her underwear to stuff it in her mouth and starts a smelly workout with her. He tells her that they should find where the Orpheum is mutating so that they can control it. Morning comes and the patients line up for their medicine. Dave talks to Jack and tells him that he thought they caught him last night. Jack says that he has to show something to Dave, wanting to show him the Orpheum he stole. Head nurse removes his tag and tells him to get some fresh air outside. Jack goes outside with Dave, telling him to take the guard's key because he needs it to get Lily out of the solitary ward. They get interrupted when a patient with white eyes approaches them, showing a cat. The patient decapitates the cat and starts eating it. They try to run, but the patient catches Jack. Dave calls for help and the guard tases the patient. Later, Jack wakes up in his room and heads downstairs to look for Lily. Head nurse tells him that she's upstairs with Doctor, making him furious. Jack sees head nurse's white eyes and tells her that she's changing, just like the rest of the patients, but she tells him that it's normal. Nancy assists Jack back to his room, locking his door. Later that night, Dave opens Jack's door using the guard's keys. They go on their way upstairs. Meanwhile, Lily is tied up, ready to be given the Orpheum. Assistant gives food to Creep, but he's asleep. She tries poking him, but her stick falls. She tries to reach for the stick, but Creep suddenly grabs her arm. Creep breaks her arm and starts eating it. Lily calls for help as Assistant ties her arm using her belt so she won't lose a lot of blood. Moments after, Doctor gets back to the lab and sees his assistant. He gets mad as she risks the entire program because she now only has one arm. She shouts at him because he's acting selfish. Doctor reasons that he sacrificed his life for the program to work. He then picks her up to treat her. Meanwhile, Jack and Dave go upstairs, but don't see Lily. They decide to go to Doctor's lab. Back at Doctor's lab, he injects morphine into Assistant to relieve the pain. Doctor leaves and calls the guard on the radio because he sees Dave and Jack in the security camera, but he doesn't respond as the guard is in Heather's room, sleeping. On the other hand, head nurse tells assistant that she will look at the wound, while doctor short-circuits the electricity, letting the maximum security patients be released. Jack tries hard to hold the maximum security patients, while Dave tries to open the door. Jack and Dave get through door after door, but infected patients continue to follow through as well. They finally reach doctor's lab. They get inside, and Jack shuts the door, crushing one of the infected patient's fingers. Jack unties his sister. Doctor didn't have enough time to give her the Orpheum. Meanwhile, head nurse removes assistant's bandage and later eats her arm. Jack, Lily, and Dave exit the lab and head back to the maximum facility. They slowly head towards the stairs, but it's blocked by debris. The infected patients creep out from the ceiling and trap them. Jack tries to open the elevator while Lily and Dave defend him from other infected patients. Jack finally opens up the elevator, but a patient grabs him. Lily helps him by tasing the patient in the mouth. They get inside the elevator, but the other infected patients hold it open. The infected patient is about to get in, but Jack stabs him in the chin, letting the elevator close. The elevator opens, and they get out of the psychiatric ward. They see blood everywhere. Jack heads upstairs and hears Heather talking in her room. He opens it and sees that she's eating the guard. He gets out of Heather's room and runs away back to Dave and Lily. They then see an uninfected Nancy. She tells them that there's no way to open the doors, but also tells them that there could be another way out. The four of them walk into the canteen, taking knives to protect themselves. Other patients start to chase them after their smell. They successfully escape and get inside the kitchen. They get to a staircase and go up before entering an office. They then see head nurse. Nancy stabs her, letting them escape. They head to doctor's office to get a gun. Dave takes a sword from doctor's wall as Jack opens the cabinet to get a gun. He then sees his real written letter hidden by doctor. They go out of the room. Nancy follows a blood track on the floor and suddenly head nurse attacks her. Lily saves Nancy by stabbing head nurse and killing her. They now go on their way to the recovery room. They meet assistant and she tells them a way how they can get out. She also tells Nancy to euthanize her so she can die immediately and not turn like the other infected patients. They start running and find where the laundry chute is. Nancy opens a door, but she gets bitten by an infected patient and dies. Dave and Lily find the chute and start climbing while Jack defends them. Jack sees Heather. He tries to shoot her, but he's out of bullets. So instead, he kicks her and starts climbing through the chute with Lily and Dave. Heather follows after them, but Jack stabs her, making her fall down. They reach the maximum facility, and the infected patient shows up to attack Jack, but Lily stabs him in the neck, making him die. They get into Doctor's lab, but he is nowhere to be found. They see their way out until Doctor grabs Dave and slowly sticks an ice pick in his eye, performing a lobotomy that makes Dave unable to move. He then tries to stab Jack with his ice pick, but he gets stabbed instead by Jack. Lily tases Doctor, tying him to Crete's cage. They go on their way ahead to the roof. While climbing down the ladder, Jack sees that the Orpheum that he took is now broken in his pocket. They successfully escape, both walking until daytime. The siblings then see the cops and tell them the situation. The cops go with them to the asylum and knock. Surprisingly, Doctor opens the door, meaning that the infected patients did not try to eat him. Infected patients get out and bite the cops, while some patients escape the facility. Doctor screams desperately, saying that he's the only one that can cure them, probably regretting his decision of using Orpheum on his patients. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.